Hey, welcome to Aussie Wristwatch. I'm Jessica Liley, and today we're going to do something a little bit different, and it's in celebration of my upcoming travel to the United States. So let's get started. All right. Not so long ago, pre-COVID, I used to work at a corporate job. And in that job, I traveled all the time. I think I counted one year that I flew like 55 times domestically that year, which is a lot. Granted, they're not long trips, but they're really annoying, very unglamorous trips. In addition to all that travel, I probably over the last 6 to 8 years, have traveled overseas, predominantly to America, but also to a little bit of Europe and other places, at least once, if not 2 to 3 times a year. So very fortunate from that point of view. But one thing that helped me with was getting very good at traveling, making sure I had the essentials to travel, or at least my essentials, and understanding that I like to have everything possibly needed on hand, particularly in flight. That I got very good at packing my office into a backpack and essential items from home. So I'm going to go through them today because I actually needed a little bit of a refresher because it's been so long since I've actually done a trip like this because of COVID. So I'm going to go through and start with my key essential items that I would take traveling with me, and also these in particular, they're what I would take on the plane. So let's get started. First of all, the most important thing that I would take, in addition to my passport that's in date, yes, I've checked that, is, and also I should say in addition to my wallets, which is very important on any holiday, is my headphones. I have two kinds. I have AirPods, and I currently have the AirPod Pro. Now, this is not a review of the AirPod Pro, but I am going to say this. These are an inferior product compared to the original AirPods that I used to have, which just worked. They connected all the time without problem. These guys drop in and out. It drives me bonkers. But one thing these guys do really well is noise cancelling on a flight, particularly if I'm watching my iPad, which is here, which comes on every flight with me, which I tend to use an awful lot, in particular on domestic travel. International travel, I tend to stick to the in-flight movies a little bit more. But nonetheless, these babies, perfect pair traveling on an airplane. But these, on an international long-haul flight, these are magic. This is my second pair of these. I have the originals that lasted me 10 years. And they died actually not that long before COVID. So these guys have been on one international trip with me. So they're looking forward to getting out yet again. But I just love them. I mean, I sleep in them, everything on the plane, like with the noise cancelling on, they're brilliant. So I can't leave home without those. I also can't leave home without my Kindle because I like to read, although not so much on the plane, but definitely out and about. By a pool, before bed, anywhere really. And this baby, again, I've had this maybe 6 years, changed my life. I love to read. I love books. I don't know about some of you guys, but cracking open a new book, everything about that is magic. What's not magic about it is lugging those motherfuckers around, particularly when you're traveling or trying to read it in bed when it's dark. That is where this has changed my life. So this has to go with me everywhere. I'm very tech focused, as you're going to see, because the next thing I take, which is a newer addition to traveling, because I got this during COVID and I got this after my wife got one, and I borrowed it a couple of times and realized how bloody amazing it was, because I thought she just got sucked into buying it through those Instagram ads, which she did, but it turned out to be an amazing get. And that's the remarkable. This baby is unbelievable. It is simple. It's a no frills tablet. So yep, it connects to the internet, but you basically read, write and notate on this baby, and that is it. And it's amazing because it doesn't distract you from the task at hand. It's the closest thing to feel like writing on paper that I think you can get in a tablet. And I tend to sign all my contracts on here. I take notes on here. I have, you know, a whole heap of different notebooks that are in here in operation. I write scripts on here. I do a first draft of a script by hand. I do it on here, and I did in lockdown. I wrote a horror film on here, and then I've continued to read and notate scripts on here. This thing is brilliant, and I can't, so it comes with me because there's too much stuff on here. I tend to do a lot of writing when I travel. When we travel, sometimes my wife might work for a bit, so I do some writing while she's doing that. I write when I go take dinner for one, if I have to go and eat by myself on occasion. You know, I'm pretty good at being me and having me time, but I write. I also still do old school writing because, well, I'm old. So I have moleskin notebooks for that, and this is the daily journal, which is not so daily anymore. My mindfulness is not as good as it used to be, I must admit. But I have this, I have my favorite pen, not cheap. Actually got this in the States a few trips back, an Acro Ink ballpoint pen. They're brilliant. So they go with me as well. And just remember guys, this is all in my backpack on the plane. Well, this isn't, but I travel with these. So watch roll, I sell these guys, check them out in the description. It's a shameless plug, I know, but humor me, there's a discount code for you if you do. This is a 3 slot. These are not necessarily the watches I'm going to travel with, but it's a close representation of what could be. All right. Here's where we get interesting. Aside from, you know, the real essential items like glasses, sunglasses, yep, they're the actual ones I take. I have some essential items, which I have glute guard because I'm allergic to gluten. No, I'm not a health nut who thinks it's really cool to not eat gluten. I literally can't eat gluten, I get sick. I'm a celiac, I have celiac disease. So glute guard kind of helps. I don't know if it's one of those things I like to take, and I do take, but I don't know if it actually works, but I like to think it works. It's supposed to help you with cross-contamination. So let's say I'm out to dinner and the kitchen accidentally, you know, froze a bit of flour on my food. This is supposed to help, not in terms of avoid symptoms, but help with what's happening with your gut. So I do take them. I take some really daggy things with me, which I'm going to show you because I'm keeping it real. So I take Blistex because I need lip balm. I take Dramamine because I get sick on a plane. And by the way, I'm hanging out to get back to the CVS in America so I can load up because I've run out. I've got travel Tylenol, which of course just helps if you get a headache or something while you're traveling. And of course hand cream, good old Vaseline. Intensive care, deep restore. I'm not getting paid for that. I also have some L'Occitane, but again, I haven't been to an airport in so long, I'm out because I usually buy that there. Because I go to the US a lot, I'm very prepared, as my wife is as well. So we have some US electronic sort of things like these, like plugs, so we don't have to worry about everything we own having to have an adapter. We do have those adapters. They're not here because they don't go in my backpack, they go in my luggage, but we've got those. As I have air tags, they go in my luggage. But I do take this with me on the plane because, as I told you, I need to have everything on hand that I could possibly need on the plane. So this is my tech pouch, which is ginormous, as you can see. It's Peak Design. I got it in San Francisco a few years back, but it's brilliant. It's got components for everything, and as you can see, I have a whole heap of plugs in there, cords, all sorts of things that I can need to charge my electronic devices whilst still in flight and later on in the hotel room. So that there is my ginormous tech pouch. I've tried to go down to a smaller one it doesn't work. All right, finally, and I just realized I've got my gimbal here, but that's going to be in my luggage because I'm not going to need that on the plane. But I figured I might do some videos while I'm away, so I should take that with me. As I will take this mic, again, goes in the tech pouch. But I travel with caps because you guys probably don't know this because I don't wear them on my videos, but I wear caps. I love caps. I've got about 50, and I'm not over exaggerating. And my cap of the day is Melin. I've got, I don't know, 20 Melin caps. I love my 4.7s, but these ones in particular. So I travel with a few which go in this case, which tends to go in my luggage, but on a domestic flight sometimes this will actually just go on as carry-on, and I can fit, I think it's actually a 2 cap case, but I can squeeze 3 in there without mucking them up too much. But they are effectively my essentials for travel. What do you guys have to travel with? I'm sure everyone's got something that they need. A life I know would be much easier if I could just roll with it and not travel with even half of this, let alone any of it. But I know that's just not going to happen because that is not me. I'm super excited about my trip, as you can tell. Today I've done all that whilst wearing my Panerai Luminor Duet 45mm. They don't make it anymore, which is a damn shame because it's perfection on the wrist, I have to say. And no, I'm not going to travel with that. Definitely not. A few people have said I'd be safe with my Panerai and even my Omega, but I'm just, yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Let's not tempt fate, hey? I can't put an air tag in there, so I guess I'll just leave it here. Thank you guys, as always. If you've enjoyed this, let me know. If you want to see a little bit more from just not so much watches but lifestyle, I mean, let me know. I don't know if that's where I'm going to take the channel, obviously, because it's a wristwatch channel. So I'm going to stick with my original plan on that. But you know, if we want to mix it up from time to time, I'm happy to do that. I'll probably do a little bit more of these just straight talk to camera, particularly on the go and traveling, just because I think that's a little easier. But yeah, let me know. I'm happy to oblige with whatever's reasonable. Thanks as always, guys. Again, don't forget to tell me what you would travel with. Don't forget to smash that like button, tell your friends about me, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, have an awesome week.